Welcome to the Tinkery. Today, we're going to make sculpture bases from this beautiful 4/4 walnut stock. So if you're ready to learn how, or just want to pick up a few tips before batching out something similar in your shop, stick around and let's jump into it. First, we'll take a couple passes at the joiner. This will provide a flat reference surface that we can use to cut these rust-on boards to size. Then it's over to the table saw. Where we'll rip the first board to its rough width. And while we're at it, we might as well cut that second board too. Then we'll take these over to the drum sander. And send these through several times to remove the marks from the mill and bring the boards to the desired thickness. This step will also leave a flat 80 grit sanded surface that we can work with until we're ready to sand up through the grits for finishing. Now these boards had a few knot holes that needed filling with a couple rounds of CA glue and activator. I'm using medium thick black Stearman here, but any brand will do. I apply it in relatively shallow layers, hitting it with activator each time until there is enough built up to sand it smooth. The dark color looks great against the walnut and turns a blemish into a feature that will really pop when we get the finish on it. With the knot stabilized, these are ready to be ripped to their final width on the table saw. After that, I'll set up a stop block at the miter saw. We'll go ahead and square up the end. and then we'll batch cut these bases to their final length. With that complete, time to round over the corners. This corner radius jig from Banggood.com does a nice job of making it easy to shape corners on the router table. But with so many corners to do here, I thought it worth the extra time to make a dedicated jig for these to ensure that every one of them matches perfectly. So first I mark the corners with my jig and rough cut them at the bandsaw. Then, I took the board over to the oscillating belt sander to bring my corners down to my lines. And once I was happy with the final shape, it was time to make the jig. I'm using a variation on the idea of a coping sled here, with a jig that will grab the workpiece on all four sides as I run it through the router table. I'm marking the curves here so that I can take the jig over to the bandsaw and cut the bulk of the excess away. With the corners removed, I'll grab my favorite flush trim bit and bring everything over to the router table to transfer the corners to the jig. I use a squeeze clamp to ensure that everything stays nicely in place, and to give me some extra leverage if I need to use it as a handle. With the corners of the template established, I'll bring everything over to my workbench to attach the handle that will give me a nice secure grip on the workpiece. And after a quick test, it's back to the router table to rinse, wash, and repeat to batch out 14 bases to their final size. After that, I sanded them from 80 to 150 grit using the random orbit sander for the faces and a sanding block and elbow grease for the edges. After that, the router made pretty quick work of the 1/4 inch round over on the top edge. And then it was back to sanding, sanding, and more sanding through the rest of the grit up to 220. After that, it was time for a quick stain. Now, I used Verithane's dark walnut to make them pop against the bronze sculptures that will sit on top of them. I finished the bases with 3 coats of General Finishes Armor Seal and sanded with 220 between each coat. After the final coat, they were left to cure for 24 hours before each base was given a final buffing using brown paper squares cut from old grocery bags. Then it was time to wrap up this project and get the bases ready for shipping. I want to give a big thank you to Scott Stearman for asking me to be a part of this project and for sending photos of both the life-size art installations and the smaller companion castings on their finished bases that I'll show you in a minute. It was a pleasure to help bring your vision to life. These bases came out beautifully. They felt great to touch and looked even better underneath the finished bronze art. If you like this video and want more wood, metal, and handmade projects, be sure to subscribe as well as like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, that's all from the Tinkery.